That's a good possibility or not? Under the cost of your 245, 3,
Un total de 25 formaciones políticas. Más de 4 millones de votantes eslovacos están convocados a las urnas. Pero, ¿cómo deberán proceder estos votantes al entrar en el colegio electoral y qué les espera?
It's a real cutie, a Mexican beauty. How it got here, I haven't a clue. It's bad enough that men, and especially women, tattoo themselves. The Bible forbids, for a reason. But how it got here, I haven't a clue. In other words, he was so drunk with stoned, he didn't even know how he got this tattoo. Wasted away in Margaritaville. He's wasted away. He's drunk. He's stoned away. He doesn't even know what he's doing. Doesn't it? And this is something to celebrate? Wasted away in Margaritaville. Waiting for my next shaker of salt. His next drink. Some people say there's a woman to blame. Usually there is. But I know it's my own D fault. You have to say the D word. It's his own fault. So there's a bit of redemption there. But the whole point is, the song glorifies ignorance, drunkenness, drug use. And this is a song that got played frequently whenever it came out. It came out in the late 70s. And I saw him at a basketball game, I think. And did he look bad when the camera went on him? He was like, he spent so many weekends in Margaritaville getting drunk. Even a song, Let's Get Drunk and Sleep. The word for copulating. Let's get drunk and begins with an S. That was the Jimmy Buffett song. I wonder if he sung that to his daughters. Let's get drunk and SC on the rest of the letters. So, I'm saying all this because music is a very powerful influence, especially on the young, like it was on me. And I played guitar for 40-something years. I could basically do what Jimmy Buffett has done. I learned one of his songs from Monday. It's a nice song about Labor Day weekend in Sandbag, Sicko. Opens up very nice. Heading up to San Francisco for the Labor Day weekend show. I got my hush puppies on. I guess I never was meant for glitter rock and roll. And he wasn't. He created, again, his own genre. And he gave him credit. It was a very euphonious genre and a very enjoyable one. But unfortunately, he had to go off the deep end. Lastly, my comment on Jimmy Buffett, may he rest in peace. I never saw him live. I think his wife is a Jew, looking at her, which I find very interesting, him being from Mississippi. But him glorifying the beach culture, and the Beach Boys didn't glorify the beach culture. They didn't glamorize drunkenness and drug use like Buffett obviously did, and not just in Margaritaville. Been told in some of his other songs that mainly drink, I think, more than drugs. Isn't it appropriate that this was the culture he glorified and glamorized, that young people fell for? I remember this one Irish-American girl who loved Jimmy Buffett, and she saw him, and she was a nice girl, but she was a bit on the edge side. And that's what a lot of these powerful musicians and the influence they have, especially on the young, especially on females, have. Oh, Jimmy Buffett, I love Jimmy Buffett. I can't wait. Well, Jimmy Buffett died of skin cancer at 76, and he was fighting skin cancer for the last 4 years of his life. Now, depending on the stage of it and the severity of it and the kind of it, that can be a very painful cancer. Now, some of them are more tolerable, some of them are easily curable. Colon cancer, as we found earlier, is easily curable. Well, isn't that kind of a consequence of the culture that he was promoting in his songs, in his whole culture of music, the whole following that he developed? He probably was on, his house is probably, well, it was right on the water. He probably spent a lot of time right on the beach sunning himself. It doesn't matter how much sunscreen we put on. You spend so much time bathing in the sun, it's going to have an effect on the human skin. So, last 4 years of his life, suffering from skin cancer, and it took his life. And this is something we all need to remind ourselves of. How important it is, the music we listen to. Remember when we used to, we've been here 9 years on WWCR. We used to play a song around the midway point. Now this broadcast has evolved over the years. We did the whole chorus of We Must Take America Back by Steve Ross. The man, great patriot song, Christian warrior song, and I got the 45, and his music career was destroyed basically by the Jewish mafia. So, we'll do it again on Rumble. And maybe here too. But how important, how relevant it is for now, that song by Steve Ross, We Must Take America Back. All right, to Tony's 3 points in his letter. Newt Gingrich, remember that old dog from the GOP establishment? He was on the Joe Page radio program recently. He claims that Obama is the mastermind of the entire attempted takeover of this country. That Obama quietly spends 10 months per year in D.C. with White House staff coming to his home at night to receive their orders from Obama for running the country. Now, I don't know if I believe this is Gingrich's opinion. Now, I'm sure he's been out of Washington for a long time. I don't even know if he has a lot of reliable sources left in Washington. Good riddance to him, by the way. Neocon Republican, establishment Republican, Israel worshiper to the hilt. Now, maybe he's changed. He's no longer a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, which I find
Grandes rasgos a la historia de este monumento arquitectónico. El castigo de policía está vinculado.
Viajando o buscando medios de manera para poder llegar antes
From Japan Cultural Asian writer, Otaku, and then Mr. Churchill. We have several great reports from our numerous history. Visit Taiwan International from 10th Street was handled 11995 kHz on July 30th, from 1700 to 1759 UTC in German. SIO rating was a 453. This was a special German broadcast from 10th Street transmission site in northern Taiwan. ID was given at 1700, and mailback program, scientific explanation program, and 10 segments of program were aired. KTWR was heard on 11965 kHz in July 30th, from the Taiwan at 1059, Mr. 8031 UTC. SIO rating was 454. This time now is interval signal for the vibration and wave mode. American West Coast Oman was heard on 21470 kHz on July 9th, from correct.
Revela que os demônios fingiram ser extraterrestres e o terror e a devastação dessa chamada invasão alienígena deixará a todos desesperados por falta de segurança, a qual será desejada a qualquer custo. A liberdade de viver e adorar, como dito, a consciência se tornará uma coisa do passado. Muitas falsidades serão reveladas durante a série de eventos que se seguirão. E quando a marca da besta for imposta, veremos muitos mártires sofrendo pela sua fé. A cada trágico evento será uma alusão em preparação para um próximo que se seguirá, assim como um grito de misericórdia conclamando a todos ao arrependimento, pois Yahweh não deseja que ninguém pereça, mas que todos cheguem ao arrependimento. Logo após os eventos descritos em Apocalipse 8 e 9, as 7 últimas pragas serão derramadas, as quais não têm precedentes na história humana. Em um sentido muito real, esses eventos dizimarão a terra. Isaías 24 adverte, abre aspas, eis que Yahweh
Antichrist, that time that is short, knowing that he has a short time, is a 42-month period. And he will enter into a man, that man will be known as Antichrist.
Entre los 36 y 38 centímetros de longitud, tendremos una recepción mucho más clara y estable. Radio Martí también. Perfectamente situado en el y entre las longitudes que mencionamos antes.
Light rays in great abundance, and there was no measure for its rays, and its light was not alike together, but it was of diverse kinds and of diverse types, some rays being more excellent than others, and all light consisted together. The nature of his glory. It was of threefold kind, and the one kind was more excellent than the other. The second, that in the midst, was more excellent than the first, which was below. And the third, which was above them all, was more excellent than the two which were below. And the first glory, which was placed below them all, was like to the light which had come.
Todo lo que necesitas saber de lunes a viernes en Radio Martí Noticias a las 12 en punto. Por las frecuencias de Martí y a través de Radio Televisión Martí. Somos la información. Somos Martí.
.net. Visit our website and share your QSL reports. This is WRMI, as it showed before.
Nosotros decimos de
Radio Taiwán Internacional.
Santo Dios declara en Apocalipsis 14:7. Temed a Dios y dadle gloria, porque la hora de su juicio ha llegado. Santo Dios declara en Sofonías 2:3. Buscad a Jehová todos los humildes de la tierra, los que pusisteis por obra su juicio. Buscad justicia, buscad mansedumbre. Quizás seréis guardados en el día del enojo de Jehová. Querido amado.
Una delegación de parlamentarios australianos llega de visita a Taiwán para fortalecer las relaciones.
Resurrected and coming again, Lord of Lords and King of Kings, Jesus the Christ.
Por una corta 4.765 kilohertz. Banda tropical para América, 60 metros. Romance. Tierna y
Que lo están empujando.
Sí, yo no sé. Hay un comentario que lo vamos a mencionar más adelante en la noticia, que hay alguien que dice que le dijeron al Miami Herald que realmente Díaz-Canel no iba preparado para este tipo de reunión con empresarios, Hay cubanoamericanos que querían. El hombre parece que todavía, además. México pedirá aquí.
Ya os lo he dicho antes, Satanás viene como un ángel de luz. Haya caído sobre la tierra. No es el evangelio del reino.
Nicaragüenses son minorías en el caso de optar por el parol, de acuerdo a lo que reporta el Servicio de Inmigración. Pero en el caso de los cubanos, todo el mundo no tiene un patrocinador venezolano. Ajá.
Dios declara en Lucas capítulo 21 y versículos 20 a 22. Pero cuando viereis a Jerusalén rodeada de ejércitos, sabed entonces que su destrucción ha llegado. Entonces los que estén en Judea huyan a los montes, y los que en medio de ella váyanse, y los que estén en los campos no entren en ella, porque estos son días de retribución, para que se cumplan todas las cosas que están escritas. Santo Dios declara en Jeremías capítulo 51 y versículo 6. Huid en medio de Babilonia, espiritual y liberal.
Questionnaires and asking what you
Las noticias como son. Saludos, Boris, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo andas? ¿Qué tal, Boris?
Todo bien, señores. Muy bien, muchas gracias por la llamada y aquí estamos aquí para discutir estos temas que han presentado, que la verdad que el primero me parece súper interesante, lo de las declaraciones de Díaz-Canel con empresarios afines.
Ahí llegamos, pero antes vamos a ver.
Saludos, Michelle. Un abrazo siempre para Michelle, que es un gusto coincidir con él.
Ahí está Michelle en pantalla. Viviste coleando en pantalla desde Madrid, España, para aquellos que lo quieren ver. Michelle, saludos.
Hola, para aquellos que nos están viendo a través de redes sociales, bueno, mando un abrazo al recuadro de arriba donde está Boris y al recuadro de al lado donde están Amado y José Luis. Así que hemos triangulado este abrazo a Miami, Madrid. Un saludo como siempre para todos los oyentes a través de cualquiera de nuestras plataformas.
Qué bueno. Bueno, de esto se está hablando. Miguel Díaz-Canel se reunió a puerta cerrada la pasada semana durante su estancia en Nueva York con un grupo de empresarios de Estados Unidos, varios de ellos cubanoamericanos, para discutir las nuevas oportunidades de negocios que podrán tener en Cuba gracias a varias transformaciones económicas que prepara La Habana. Aunque el mandatario no ofreció otros detalles sobre el intercambio, varios funcionarios de
da sociedade, incentivando
diplomáticos de Cuba y Naciones Unidas revelaron un nuevo Herald que los funcionarios aseguran estar contemplando y trabajando en una legislación para facilitar las inversiones de los cubanos-americanos y darles ser dueños de micro, pequeñas y medianas empresas, las conocidas MIPYMES inscritas en Cuba. Las tensiones entre el gobierno de Cuba y Estados Unidos siempre dejan en nada las promesas de apertura económica. Además, Díaz-Canel no estaba preparado para discutir en...
when did you come to the point where you decided
way to my auditorium for the Olympic style. Así que podemos, debe ser reconocido. Tratar de repetir la región podría beneficiarse de la estabilidad como resultado de dicha cooperación. Al precisar que durante su encuentro con el secretario general de la ONU, Antonio Guterres, contó la posición de la parte turco-chipriota, Qatar dejó claro que nunca aceptará una solución impuesta. Si hay un acuerdo en el futuro, la respuesta será
el comunista anunció que iba a dar, o sea, iba a desbloquear la emisión que existía antes del comunismo y fue bloqueada por el castrismo, y de paso habilitar las MIPYME y esas cosas. Entre que lo anunció y lo hizo, mediaron muchos años y un 11 de julio. Entonces, el régimen comunista es un régimen que tradicionalmente le gusta anunciar cosas que después no realiza a medias, o finalmente realiza en medio de una crisis en medio de convulsiones internas. Esto es una historia, esto no es reciente, o sea, estoy hablando de pasaporte y MIPYME, pero se puede rastrear desde el año 59 hasta el presente toda esta caterva de mentiras y de oportunismos en cuanto a los anuncios. Porque, ¿qué pasa? ¿Cuál es el tema del anuncio para un régimen como el cubano? El cubano está tan necesitado.
Manned by a German Army tank crew, was engaged by and destroyed. At least one tank crew member admitted he and his crew were German Army active duty members. Therefore, since an active duty German Army tank crew was operating a tank in hostilities on Russian territory, this is an act of war by Germany against Russia, unquote. Now, folks, it is not yet known what Russia plans to do about this. They may give an ultimatum to avoid direct war, or they may simply announce that direct war is now taking place. American and NATO intelligence resources are closely monitoring everything inside Russia to detect any hint of population evacuations, government official evacuations, or the opening or entry of citizens into evacuation shelters. Nothing of that type is going on so far. So this Saturday morning, over in Ukraine, the Russian army blew up a German Leopard tank. When they went to the tank, only one member of the crew was still alive, but he was critically injured. He admitted that they were members of the active duty German army. He gave his unit, gained information, and then he died. Germany has just committed an act of war upon Russia. Now, you may recall that last week I reported to you that Ukraine had hit Russia's Black Sea naval headquarters in Sevastopol, Crimea. On Saturday, Russia retaliated for Sevastopol. They hit the Ukraine's Kremenchug Airport. Now, Kremenchug Airport, turns out, is where the missiles that destroyed the Black Sea Naval Headquarters were launched from. There was no air raid warning sounded in or around that airport before the Russian missiles hit it. And locals suggested that maybe the reason there was no air raid warning was that Russia utilized low observable KH-50 cruise missiles. Well, it turns out that both Scalp, which are missiles, cruise missiles supplied by France, and Storm Shadow missiles, which are supplied by Britain, were stored at the Kremenchug airport, along with Ukrainian Su-24M bomber aircraft, which fired those missiles. It is now confirmed that the ammunition dumps storing both the Scalp and Storm Shadow missiles, as well as all the Ukrainian Su-24 bomber aircraft at that airport, have been destroyed. On Saturday, while this was breaking news, I was able to report to you that a substantial number of firefighters and ambulances had been dispatched to the airport. We were receiving information claiming there was significant casualties among pilots, ground crews, and, NATO personnel, including Polish troops who were allegedly involved in coordinating the cruise missile attacks by Ukraine and were involved in maintaining the missiles. The Kremenchug Airport virtually doesn't exist anymore after Ukraine used it to fire cruise missiles against Russia's Black Sea Fleet headquarters on Crimea. On Saturday, Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk issued an evacuation order as follows. She said, quote, "We urge Ukrainians who are in the Crimea to leave the peninsula immediately," unquote. Well, this little ditty of a public evacuation announcement begot some questions. Why would Ukraine tell anyone on Crimea to leave immediately, unless, of course, Ukraine is planning some big offensive, or unless Ukraine perhaps knows that maybe NATO
naciones hayan venido a ti. Quizás seas de los que dice en su corazón dónde está la promesa de su venida, porque desde que los padres durmieron, todas las cosas permanecen como eran desde el principio. También Dios declara en 2 Pedro capítulo 3 versículos 3 a 7, sabiendo primero esto, en los postreros días vendrán burladores, andando según sus propias concupiscencias, y diciendo, ¿dónde está la promesa de su advenimiento?
De capacitación para fortalecer las capacidades de profesionales dedicados
medidas que yo defendí en su momento, estuve en contra de muchas otras, equivocadísimas, tomadas por la administración Trump, pero si una tenía todo el valor y el sentido del mundo, era precisamente ir contra Gaesa y contra el emporio de los militares que me